Mr. Sam will be receiving a prize money of rupees 10,000. The second place goes to Ms. A. Soundarya of School of Allied Health Sciences, VMRF, Chennai. Ms. Soundarya will be receiving a cash prize of rupees 7,500. The third place goes to Hari Shiva Shankari S. of Vinayaka Missions Law School, VMRF, Chennai. Shiva Shankari will be receiving a cash award of rupees 5,000. We will move on to school essay competition winners. The first place goes to K.M. Grisha of JJIS. She will be receiving a cash prize of rupees 10,000. The second place goes to Vimal Rama Subramaniam of Sri Ramana Academy, CBSE. He will be receiving a cash award of rupees 7,500. The third place goes to Mr. Devesh of Heartfulness International School, Omega Branch. He will be receiving a cash award of rupees 5,000.
Next prize distribution is for Innovation Challenge. First place goes to Guganathan Subramani, External Innovator, Mac KG ICT LLP. He'll be receiving cash prize of rupees 10,000. Second prize goes to Sanchit Kushwaha, AVMC Pondicherry, final year, 4th year MBBS. He will be receiving prize money of rupees 7,500. Please encourage the prize winners by giving a round of applause. Third place goes to Adarsh Kumar Keshri Vijayashree, AVIT Chennai, 2nd BECSE. He will be receiving rupees 5,000 cash prize.
Thank you, dignitaries. All the prize winners, please come on stage. We will take a group photo. I request all the prize winners to come on stage.
Everything that we have spoken about today, heard, learnt. In that spirit of reflection, I would like to request Mr. Vithal Nadkarni, who's a renowned journalist who has worked with some of the world's biggest brands, newspapers and magazines, and has been associated with founding the Speaking Tree for the Times Group. I have read that as a young adult, and it's amazing, truly. He's also got extensive broadcasting and television experience, been a fellow of the London-based 21st Century Trust and a Salzburg Fellow, and a recipient of the prestigious fellowship named after the Washington Post editor Alfred Friendly. Over to you, sir, for a quick summary of everything that we witnessed today.
First of all, apologies. I am not continuing the conversation we started earlier. This is just a summary. And what a summary it is. How wonderful were the thoughts that we received. You know, one of the themes that I was sharing with Swamiji was the vision with which this was started. And it takes that kind of sustained, dedicated, caring, nurturing approach to bring these diverse thoughts so that we can agree to disagree. was one of the factors that probably also came across in the last few minutes. Now, one of the most important things that struck me was the paradigm shift that was spoken about from the macro level to the micro level. Now, this is where it affects individually in people at their mohallas and their house committee levels. When there is violence, increasing of violence, and I think the Vice Chancellor of Kaladi University did brilliantly well in trying to analyze this phenomenon where this paradigm shift has taken place from a macro level to a micro level. Now, this is where we as individuals have a role to play. I would submit. This is the take-home point that I got in the summary that I did. Then he talked about the binaries that we often talk about, say white versus black, illegal versus legal, schizoid versus lucid, or whatever. Now, why are these binaries bad? They are just tools of thinking and classification to start with. Because you can't make judgments in the abstract. The famous question that the American humorist was asked by James E.B. White, the humorist walking with him, says, James, I heard your mother-in-law was not well. So James says, as compared to what? So, whenever you make a judgment, as compared to what are you talking about? That is very important. If you are talking about genocide of millions of people, that may be different from butchering of a family in Bihar, maybe. But the pain is not any less. The pain is not any less. And this is where we need to follow our traditional advice that the last person on the planet or in the country, if you can wipe his tear, then you have achieved. Now, it may seem like too impossible a dream to do, but at least we should keep that as a goal in our mind, which is the reason I do not get into the debate of whether he deserves to be called Mahatma or father of the nation or whatever. Again, the trope ahimsa. I wanted to emphasize something which did not get said, and I will include it in the summary. So great is India's obsession, if you can call it, with not doing harm even unconsciously. And Swamiji will bear me out. There is a category of sins called Panchasuna. When you pound something, you are causing death. When you fill a jar, you may be causing microbial death that we heard about. When you winnow something in a basket, you may be causing death of tiny organisms. So what do you do when you forget conscious evil, conscious hurt? What do you do when you don't even know that you have caused this? There, the great rishis and the great tattva vettas of our tradition prescribed what they called as Pancha Mahayajna, which are mandatory every day. So you remember your ancestors, Pitru Yajna, where you came from. You remember the gods to whom you owe all this. You remember the learning tradition which has brought you and fostered this beautiful economy. So you do Brahma Yajna. Finally, you do Atithi Yajna. Now, Atithi Yajna doesn't mean that you open your larder or you don't think strategically. It only says, think of the other. What we were told, Jean-Paul Sartre saying, the problem is the other. The genius of India is, the problem is not the other. We befriend them. So, and that is my answer to Aruna. We do not demonize the other. And also in the Hatha Yoga Pradipaka, when you see, you have Svatvarama saying, Matantare. If you believe in God, this is the explanation. What if you don't? What if you are a Charvak? Then Matantare, this may be the explanation. So this tolerance is what I have experienced in this beautiful debate from different thoughts. It has not made me defensive, rather than it has made me hopeful. It has made me hopeful because I am also working on the sidelines of opening a peace corridor with POK for the Sharda Mata temple. And that is going to be a corridor of peace, like Kartarpur corridor. Now, how do we achieve it? What kind of bridges? So we need Sangoshtis such as these to even articulate or dare to articulate difficult, thorny, troublesome propositions to secure a peace for generations to come. And I have lots of stuff, about like darkness and light. He talked about the Vilapu, that it was. This is the paradigm of our culture. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Now, if you don't have tamas, how do you see Jyoti? So, see, we were also great logicians. So, if you see, for instance, Ashtadhyayi, you will see why the other is necessary for comprehension of the world. But ultimately, we are saddled, as I was telling Professor Shrikalaji, we have the overhanging canopy of Ekam Sat Viprad Baudha Vadanti. So there are many views, but we are all going towards the path of peace, and it's been an honor and an absolute privilege to be part of this. Thank you so much.